The Titans on the fast track to picking 1 overall in back-to-back seasons. Can't get things sorted despite adding Cam Ward at 1-1 a year ago. The Giants with the 2nd overall pick following their latest loss. And we always find it interesting, Mac, picking 9th overall. Not the Falcons.
It's the Rams.
The Rams, who could be on Super Bowl Sunday and then early on draft day. All right, back in studio with the fellas. And Emory, I know the hard work has already begun in terms of this next upcoming class. We've talked about the width and the depth of it, but when we look at those top 2 picks specifically right now, Tennessee, they need so much. Where do your eyes go first to complement what they did just a year ago?
I honestly believe Tennessee's in a good spot to trade out and collect more picks. I would probably target teams that have multiple first-round picks outside of the AFC that puts the Rams in position. Do you really want to give the Rams the #1 pick to have a great player at their disposal? Maybe in this draft, yes, but I would look at the Rams as a team that could potentially move up. Or this wild, crazy scenario of the Cowboys, giving them both first-round picks to move up to #1. So Tennessee would have to move down.
But what's the need? I'm trying to find need for them to come up to #1.
Well,
what's the PR package that they say, here's the guy that you need, come up to 1 because there's a market for him?
Well, I mean, if we really want to go there with Dallas, it's definitely Jeremiah Love. You know what I'm saying?
To go 1?
That would be
Dallas.
That would be rubber-stamped Jerry move.
Exactly. That would be Dallas. But if you're Tennessee and you look at what you need, I know there's questions along the offensive line, but you went to the well that time before. Do you want to double down on edge rusher? How much do you like Arvell Reese? If you like him that much, I like him a lot. He could play inside or outside. Yeah, there's your guy right there. You could take him at #1. There's no downside to taking good players. But if you're trying to maximize the draft, trade down is always an option and get 2 first-round picks.
Trying to get a running back 1-1
I don't know what
for
he's
the
talking
brand.
about.
Hey,
Dallas is not
love the man, though.
I love
The
Jeremiah
league
Love.
is cyclical, and it's moved back to
Yeah,
fun run.
we're not Dallas. I mean, Tennessee, they need so much.
Yeah.
So I think for Tennessee, you have to identify what is the best way to improve our team the quickest.
We're talking about trading picks for coaches.
Resources. You got to get draft capital. You're not taking a quarterback 1 again. Worst case scenario, maybe you can improve the offensive line or the defensive line. But then you got to look at the draft board. If we can put up the draft order one more time, look at what team needs a quarterback that sits the highest, right? I think it could be the Raiders. I think the Raiders could be a potential team that could utilize a quarterback because of what we're seeing now with Geno Smith. It hasn't been ideal, and you need to prepare for life after Geno Smith.
And there's no like if you look at the Saints or the Browns, they took 2 young quarterbacks, so they could talk themselves that we could pass. But if the Raiders have no young option behind them,
I think the Raiders will be the first team, and outside of the Raiders, the Jets, of course, and maybe, not maybe, I do believe the Arizona Cardinals. I think they're going to cut ties with Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray will play elsewhere in 2026. And when you look at where they're currently sitting inside the top 10, that could be a suitor for a team like Tennessee or the New York Giants to kind of flirt with because we know New York, they're not utilizing the #2 pick on a quarterback. If they stay put, they have other areas. But I think ideally for the Giants and Giants fans, they would love to move out of 2 also. So those are the first teams that I think of that could potentially trade up.
Vegas is an interesting one because we look at the Geno contract as maybe one of the worst of this last offseason relative to his performance right now, but there are outs there. They can get off of that contract. I believe about $18 million still owed to Geno that will hit them in dead cap money. So it's not the end of the world if you do want to move on right now and move up to #1. Are they ready to do that? We are yet to figure that out just yet. Tennessee needs so much. Maximizing is what I'm hearing from you two gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Maybe the topic more pertinent to the result we saw here on Monday night is what the Giants would do at #2. Another team with some need, and you like to think you have the franchise quarterback, but I think maybe let's zoom out even further here, Mac. Is Joe Shane the right person to make that pick?
Well, it seems like he will be the person making the pick, regardless if you feel like he is the right person or not. I mean, I feel like this, Giants fans, and I'm talking to you directly. When you fired the head coach, you fired the DC, who's been tied to those said players? I mean, said individuals, the GM. So why is he still super safe? If you're resetting, do a total reset. Bring in a new regime to kind of right this ship. Because I understand Joe Shane has definitely hit on some draft picks. The Malik Neighbors, no question. The Jackson Dart, no question. But there has been a lot of miss that I will not name that has hurt the development of your program. So when you talk about those mishaps in the draft and then how he handled the Saquon Barkley situation, how he's handled the Xavier McKinney situation, there are so many situations that he mishandled where these guys were left and helped evolve a new situation where they were homegrown players. Those are the players you usually take care of, especially when they're deserving of being taken care of. So me personally, he is the person that will be there. Let's see how it plays out.
You can't get it wrong if you want to get going. This team has been mired in mediocrity or worse for too long now.
Yeah.
It's one of the great franchises in the NFL. And if you do have the second overall pick, whether you're going to take it or maximize, you have to do something that's going to move this franchise forward. What is that?
Great question, because here's the thing. I see direct parallels with Cleveland and Andrew Berry, and what's going to help Joe Shane is this draft class that he just had. You had Abdul Carter, you have Jackson Dart, you have Cam Scatterbo. You look at what Cleveland did this draft. All the rookies are playing really well. So when you look at what they've drafted, I know they didn't draft Andrew Thomas. He was my number 1 tackle in that class. But he did draft John Michael Schmidt, who was my number 2 center, who's a starter right now. They drafted Marcus Bowe last year, who was my number 2 guard. He's a guy that had a great preseason and been great when he was able to fill in, can play guard or tackle. So for me, Spencer Fano is a plug-and-play guy at right tackle coming out of Utah. It gives them what they need.
They got 2 good tackles.
They got 2 good tackles
Yes.
at Utah. You get the one that can step in right now at right tackle. You have a franchise left tackle. You have a guard that can play guard or center that's going to be a very good player that you drafted. So now you have 4 of the 5 pieces solidified up front. Now, one of the whiffs, he did draft Evan Neal. That hasn't worked out. That's a big whiff on him. So they still have to find another guard. But at the end of the day, if you can get 4 of the 5 starters solidified up front for your young quarterback, your young tailback, you get Malik Neighbors back, you have a good tight end duo, and you've drafted Kayvon Thibodeau, who's solid alongside Abdul Carter. You did go and make the move for Brian Burns. So he's done some great things.
Yeah.
But to your point, I think where he has to start to excel, the back end of the draft. Giants this year was the best undrafted class I saw them have out there at training camp. But that has to be consistent, because that's the bottom depth of your roster. That's how you avoid these special team blunders that we saw against New England. So I think tackle is the move, especially if you want to help Dart help himself.
Hey, protect the investment, because we want to start to see some returns on it. And I'm not talking about the returns that we saw on Monday night. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, Ryan Wilson, our draft expert, offering his top 5 quarterback prospects in a class that has been panned in some ways. Fernando Mendoza got some high leverage football coming his way in the CFP, and in the Big Ten championship game, Dante Moore, Oregon, is his 2nd highest rated quarterback. Ty Simpson and Jaden Mayava rounding out the top 4.